That's about right. That's about right. Let's get it though. Yes. Yes, 2 times. I know the vibes though. She like, ooh la la, we go, ooh la la, we like, ooh la la, we go, ooh la la, we okay. Ooh la la, we like, ooh la la, we on a Sunday. Ooh la la, we like, ooh la la.
Looking for M's like I lost a friend.
Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop out of the bed like, where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, then surely the question is, where you been? Over here, we like to deal with sports, hip-hop, interviews, popovisms 101, and motivation. So if that sound like something you can rock with, then before you leave the channel and hit stage left, do the kid a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, smash that notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. You get alerted when I upload the videos, and if it's not your first time, then we appreciate you. But you know how we do. You know how I start the show. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. We in the end game. And we in the end game, people, because, more news is coming out about, more news is coming out about, unfortunately, the death of Christian Toby Obumseli. You know, the Nigerian brother that was stabbed to death by the fans only chick, Taylor. You know what I mean? And so, a few years ago, 2013, maybe 2012, you know, he has some disheartening tweets, to say the least, because even though he's Nigerian, but you're black, and you know, if you on social media like me, we know some of the most brutalists, if you ask me. Definitely one of the most places where videos coming out of Nigeria or any places in Africa, it'd be real brutal over there. They don't be playing, like Jamaica, Nigeria, certain, you know, countries and shit, where these videos be coming out where they be chopping people with the, you know, the machetes and just, you know, doing other humans filthy. You know what I mean? A lot of backstories don't be on why they doing what they doing to these people. But unfortunately, you know, a lot of sisters is mad. You know, a lot of African American sisters, a lot of black sisters, a lot of women of color. You know what I mean? They mad, and pretty much a lot of people is actually also saying, not that he deserved to get murdered in cold blood or how he got murdered, because it's definitely not, at least in my opinion, is you know, he didn't deserve to get murdered. Well, you know, like Coach Herm Edwards says, don't press sin, don't press sin. Let me set this over here because it sounded like the audio was good. Been having some trouble with the audio. Coach Herm Edwards, who I, you know, plainly, you know, coach of the New York Jets, like the TV dad, you know what I mean, for the people that's in the sports, etc. You know, in addition to him being famous for, hello, you play to win the game. You don't just play it to play. Like, he's, you know, truly, you know, famous for that. And obviously that after game rant on when the reporters was asking the questions, you know, he was, that clip went viral. He's also has the viral clip of, don't press send. Like when you in your feelings and you on Twitter, and sometimes we could get triggered, myself included. You know, when I blow up, you know what I mean, overnight and all that, and my videos are going viral, you probably will see a couple of the comments on Instagram, on YouTube, on, you know, Twitter, Black Twitter. You're like, oh shit, Lee was commenting on this. Stuff gonna come back. And so that's the same thing that happened with this brother, you know what I mean, with Obumseli. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. But anyway, he come out some of his tweets, and I wish, like I said, I'm gonna get to where I can put stuff on the screen for y'all as I'm talking about it. And if if you're a follower, you're a supporter of the channel, if you know how to do it, then hit me on the back line or leave it in the comments like, yo, this is how you do it, X, Y, Z. But I promise you, I'm gonna get to that point. But anyways, you just got to take my word for it. Allegedly, maybe kind of sort. It's not even allegedly, really, so I shouldn't even have said that. He got some tweets where he'll prefer, the white breasts over some black breasts. And, he don't date black women, and black women is not his kind, and, he's not interested in, like, real just, off the hand and, frowned upon tweets that he really had no business tweeting. And, on the other show that I did the other day, when I'm like, when stuff is behind closed doors and somehow microphones get into where you're talking at, flies on the wall, and, you being honest, or whoever you're speaking with. You could be considered a racist if you're white and you using the N-word and, the M&Ms, or, you're just talking privately, you and your homies, maybe you and your family. And people hear that hot mic and they hear you saying stuff that's not for public consumption. When it comes to stuff like that, you got to take it with a grain of salt, even though I love when people come out and be honest, be forthcoming with who they are, how they truly feel. Transparent, like Populist TV, full transparency. He like black women come out of the womb, know how to shake their ass and this and that. And, just like I said, just some real off the cuff kind of like backhand, stuff towards black women. And that's why, I put the title as Staying on Cold, Hurting the Black Community. And I'm going to give a few examples. In this case here, you could date who you want to date. I got family members that's, with white women, and vice versa or whatever, LGBT in the community. I'm not, absolved from that. We all have people that, it's nothing you really could do about it. You could do and be with who you want to be with. Be with who you want to be with. If it's truly love, or you don't want to date black, and you want to date white, or that's your preference. Asian is your preference. Little booties matter. You ain't into the big old gigantic Barbie doll body, the BBLs. You could like who you want to like and have a preference. Nobody's saying that. However, Tony, there was no other way. You don't got to run to the social media and broadcast or talk down to the people or the preference that you don't like. That's fencing. It's not even like body shaming. If you don't like women that's Lizzo size, let's say you like a, Jennifer Aniston, you like a Snow Bunny, a Slim Goody. You don't gotta go on a platform and say, these fat bitches, or I would never date a fat bitch. Because the thing is this: the reason why black women is mad is because ultimately, the person who he said he don't want to date or be with, killed him dead, like Whoopi. I was about to say Whoopi Goldberg, even though she was in the movie, but like Oprah in The Color Purple. I kill him dead. You told Harpo to beat me, and I'm being funny, but I'm not. Rest in peace, to him. May the Most High have mercy on his soul and all of us. Whoever's watching. When it's your time to be out here, and I'm saying that for myself as well. And when I do go, I hope the people that love me pray for me when I'm gone. Condolences to his family. Again, it's gruesome. But the thing about it, the chick is, that killed him allegedly, right? She ain't convicted. Got arrested initially, bailed out, thought they was going to take her to like a Bellevue, someplace like they got it in New York. Posting up photos of her out and about without a care in the world. And it's like, oh, but you're black, for the black men. We at the bottom of the totem pole. So there's so many things wrong with this, with this particular situation, in this case. And there's a lot that can be learned. One is don't press send, like Coach Herm Edwards said. Even if you in your feelings, even if you triggered, because these things will come back. You got the clip of her, and I played the clip the other day on the other show. She like, I only date black men. And matter of fact, I only date rich black men, and I like to be in control. And I talked about the sister who killed the state trooper accidentally when she was drunk driving, speeding. And how she left her show prior saying some wild stuff that they're going to use against her in court. So you're really just building a case against yourself, especially if you're ignorant and you don't know what you're talking about. Two, if you drunk and you high, like, you know what I mean? Like, drunk and high at the same time, like, you know what I mean? Gucci and Drake. I don't really, but I'm drunk or I'm high, but I'm both right now. Especially if you both. You're just talking and you're just saying stuff. And you put it out there for public consumption, then something happens to you in the media if you're a public eye, even if you're not. Because these people, their platform is small like mine. The chick that was drunk and stuff like that. People going to use that against you. And then you're going to have black women, some unfortunately just out of ignorance or just maybe because they triggered because they felt like, you know, he was putting somebody above them. So it's like, yeah, it's good for that nigga. It's good for that Nigerian. Fuck that nigga. It's good for him. Some people was actually in the comments saying that. No regards for human life. And then when you see it played out on a big stage, there's no empathy, there's no remorse. It's like, yeah, fuck that nigga. Like, you know what I mean? And you know how people is nowadays. Everything is self, and, you know, fuck the world, don't ask me for shit. Everything you get, you gotta work hard for it. For me, I don't view it that way. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I've seen some cold things, I've been a part of some things, and you still say, damn, it's human life. So even though you may disagree with what he said, nobody should be saying he deserved to die. That's crazy for you to say that. It's ignorant, and it's like, you know, what you put out there into the universe could happen to you. It could happen to one of your loved ones, somebody that you do have, you know, genuine concern and love for. It's like, oh, that happened to somebody I love. So, you know, the sisters is riled up. Bill O'Reilly, you only rile me up. And they're like, yeah, you know, he was talking down on it. He talking bad about it. He preferred, you know, I can't believe he tweeted this stuff out. And again, though, I ain't really look at his age. I think he's in his mid-20s. So you say 2012, that's 10 years ago. You know what I mean? 17, 18, 19, 20. We all, you know, do immature things. Stuff that we wish we could take back. And the person, the man or the woman that you once was is not indicative of the person who you becoming, who you trying to be, and who you are today in the present. It doesn't. And I'm going to play something in a minute. That's why I got a word from KO in the title. Because he hit me on the bat line today for the first time. You know what I mean? But it's staying on code, messing us up in this regard. Like, when you're scared to speak out. Or, you know, when the angry mob is there and you had one stance, but now you confronted with people that's in your face. Are you going to stand on your principles? Are you going to call out bullshit when it's bullshit? Or are you going to just, you know, silently condone it? And, you know, I give the example because I spoke about this as well, you know what I mean, as far as Islamic belief and things of that nature. And one of the things is, if you see it wrong, then if you can, you should correct it with your hand. If you physically can. Everybody's not strong enough. They don't have the means. They don't have the balls. They don't have the courage to stop something right there in real time when it's happening. If you can't do that, then the second thing is to speak out about it. You know what I mean? There's levels to this, and everybody's not on the same level, self-included. You have to cultivate, you know, faith, discipline, and where you at in life. And then lastly, the less of the things, the weaker of the things, is if you can't physically stop it, you can't speak out against it, then you supposed to hate it in your heart. And that is considered to be the weakest of the faith, or the lesser, you know what I mean, out of the three. Obviously, number one is if you could do it, then you do it. You see something wrong, you stop it right then and there. Nah, y'all, that's not the move. You physically stopping it. If you can't do that, then nah, y'all, I'm gonna verbally tell you I'm not condoning that. I'm not with that. And then obviously, if you feel like, nah, that's not my place, I might get my face smacked, or I might get killed, like I was talking about in the video yesterday. You running outside to save the world, and then you die. Then you just gotta sit back and just hate it in your heart. But at least the Most High, you know what I mean, in the universe know, like, nah, he not with that. She not with that. They not partaking in that. They just not strong enough to do anything about it on the physical level or speaking out level. Your platform may be a little lower. You know what I mean? And so, you know, for black men, you gotta say, damn, she out and about, enjoying her life. If this was the other way around, because I give y'all another case that took place in Connecticut, and Cardi B spoke out about it, and I can't think of the sister name offhand. I only can speak of Cardi B, because that's, you know, obviously she's Cardi B. But the sister that went on a date with the white dude from Connecticut, found to murdered, amphetamines or drugged up or whatever. Dude didn't get locked up. Months and months go by, police dragging their ass. No real spotlight is brought to it. And oh, by the way, she was black. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's an afterthought. And to people like Cardi B, I see other channels, so she's not the only one. She might be the biggest, the biggest voice because her platform is the biggest. Then people start talking about it, and the family got a little more support. I see this in the same vein. I wish more people make a stir about it and get riled up about it, and put aside the fact that his ignorance or whatever he was feeling at that time in 2012, 2013. It's a long time ago, and he may not be the same person that he is now. I didn't see any recent tweets. People is going to digging now as the case is more information is coming out about the case. But we should be outraged, especially black men, because you got to say, yo, that could be you. That could be like Coach Greg Adams, and that's you. Like, it could be you tomorrow if that's your preference and you dealing with the snow bunnies and the sloppy yogurts and the ironing board backs. Like, that could be you. And she could be out, partying like 1999, and you on the mall. Your family making arrangements for the funeral. And, again, no matter what he said, in my opinion, does not warrant the death end. And it's a horrible death. Especially in the cancel culture, they want to cancel Adam Scheffler. He got 9-point-something million followers. The NFL, dude, because his words was a little raggedy, distasteful about Dwayne Haskins. People want to cancel, and this is the cancel culture. So just because you triggered ladies about what he might have said about y'all, you still should be outraged that his life was taken and she might get off. Same thing with Zimmerman. Obviously, he followed them and stuff like that, and people making jokes about y'all so gangster, all these gangsters walking around, but he's still walking around. You should still be outraged, And that's part of staying on code, all right? And the reason why I put that title too, because I told you I'll be running through these YouTube streets, running through these YouTube alleyways, and they should have never. So I'm on a lot of channels when I got free time and I'm looking at stuff. And one of the channels that I follow and I like is the LaPeef Network, where they got Antoine and JR, a whole bunch of other panels, and they was doing a show maybe a few weeks ago or a couple days ago, and Courtney, she's one of the panelists. Real quick, so I can draw the picture for you what I'm talking about. And there was another chick named Amira on there, and she's from the Middle East. And they was talking about the difference between American women, westernized women, and Eastern women, and how men over there don't want their women being influenced by the culture over here. So you could clearly see that Courtney was triggered, like she was coming for blood against the chick. Like, yo, we got to stay on code, and how dare y'all, like, talking to the men on the platform, like, how y'all allowing us to have this conversation about the black culture being trashington when it comes to certain things, and we allow certain things, just to, as black people, we hold dear to some of the most stupidest things possible, and we don't speak out against it while our company is in the house. And I get where she was coming from, but one of the dudes, Antoine, actually, if I'm not mistaken, his retort to that was, yo, social media, Popovich TV, like, everybody got platforms now. Your phone is a platform. As soon as when you decide to press live or start recording and upload your posts, the whole world gets to see it. Morocco and Africa, Nigeria, Ukraine, Russia. It ain't no censors. So they can take a view and they can take a peek into what we doing over here. You can see you shaking of the ass and, the baby mama culture and the gang culture and, fuck everything and, what we doing over here. The buffoonery remains at an all-time high. So her argument is null and void in my opinion, because it's not like you're in the house. If this was the days of no social media, then I could see you going outside and you airing your dirty laundry out. But once you put it on social media, and it's all for sale, like the Truman Show, you really have no ground to stand upon to fix your face and say, yo, I'm triggered because we talking about black issues or, the fuckery that is of some of the black culture, some of the stuff that we partake in front of an outsider. Now all they gonna do is pick up their phone. You go to TikTok and this the buffoonery remains at all. So shout outs to O'Shea Jackson. That's where I get that from. You know, I'm gonna shout people out when I, you know what I mean, use their stuff as for consumption. So the thing is, you staying on code, but what's really staying on code? Is you staying on code to to not let people look into what we really doing when they clearly can see. You're not private in your house talking to your son and your mom. The community is open for everybody because of social media and technology, and it's good and it's bad. So what you staying on code for? You look more ignorant, in my opinion, by trying to stay on code. Like, yo, we can't talk about that because this Middle Eastern woman is here. Nah. Without her being there, she can see everything that we do because we put everything on social media. World star, like, you got women dancing on the tables inside of black establishments and showing out. And you got dudes with buffoonery, shooting old ladies, you know what I mean? And this gun culture and this drill music and all this stuff. Like, they not blind, is what I'm saying. And this is America. Like, don't catch you slipping up. So we can see what it is. So you can't use that. That's an excuse. And it's not a real not real grounds to stand upon. So I'm only saying that to say, yeah, you could be mad at Toby, Obumseli. You could be mad that and I mean, again, white breast, Chinese breast, black breast, whatever breast it is he decides to, indulge in, that's his business. He shouldn't, those comments was disrespectful. They may have been hurtful, but for us to brush that to the side while she out having Mai Tais and she at the bar probably looking for another victim. We need to be outraged. And so we need to get off that staying on code. If you really staying on code, then you would speak out against the buffoonery. You would speak out against the stuff that's, not right and exact. And that brings me to this. Because y'all know on the channel, popovism, sports, hip hop, entertainment. So like I said, I got a phone call earlier. I've been waiting for him to get the number on his list. And when you locked up, for those that have never been locked up, when you lose your rights and your liberties and you become a number, when you want to talk to somebody, you can't just go pick up the phone and talk to them. You got to be told when, got to be told how long, and you got to get approval. You want to talk to your mother? Or give me your mother number. Let me approve it. It might take a week, might take 2 weeks. If you got one of them bum ass counselors that want to drag their ass, it may take a month. We may have to write a few letters like, yeah, I sent you that number a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Can you put the number on the list so I can make a phone call to my mom? She's sick right now. Then they might still do it. So today, even though I was waiting, I got a call from my brother, KO and whatnot, KO SmiTty champ. So I'm gonna play a little extra. The call was long, just a little bit, because I want y'all to hear something dealing with staying on code and people in the dark, they one way, and then when they come outside and people can see them, they another way. But to his credit, since I first met KO, there's a little backstory too, just so I can tell you who we dealing with, who I'm about to bring on the channel. I met KO in '97 in Comstock, fresh from Rikers. That's the first jail they sent me to. Super wild, crazy, like every day, people, but you're black. The gang culture was cutting each other, stabbing each other. Every day, if you go to the yard, you risk the chances of you might have to get down on the ground. Even if it's freezing outside and there's mad snow out there, you're going to have to lay down, get down and lay down. Or if it's mad hot and the concrete is baking, like Kevin Bacon, you still going to have to lay down, or you might get a rubber bullet in your ass. Like you might, you're going to go to the box. And so, when I went there, they put me next to him, and I was locking next to him. When I was a young man, still teen. I wasn't 19. And so, I don't know nothing about prison, especially not this on this level, And I remember shaving my hair. Real quick story. I may tell another story another time because actually I got to make moves. So I came and when you come from downstate and you go through Austin and all that, the reception, they shave your hair, you get your greens and all that. And so my hair was shaved bald, growing back, but I was like, I'm gonna rock the baldy for a little while. So you don't get no mirror, you don't get like certain things off the rip. You have to have commissary, you have to have a couple dollars, or you accumulate things as you start doing your time. So I didn't have no mirror or none of that, but I still decided to shave my head. And he had a mirror, a nice mirror too, a big mirror. And you know, you see in the movies, which is real, you see people putting their mirror out so they can look down the gallery, look down both sides and shit, see if the police coming, or you know, you talk to your neighbor. And so he had put his mirror out. I guess he was looking at something. So I'm shaving my head, trying to shave, and I know I didn't get everything right. I don't want to look out crazy. So I'm like, yo, OT, because when I'm coming in, when you come in, I get to see who was next door. So he looked like an older brother, you know what I mean? Or older with the long beard, bald head. I'm like, yo, can I hold your mirror or whatever? And he like, I don't got no mirror. So, you know, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you don't got him out. I just seen you with a mirror. So I forget what was exactly said, but long story short, when he came out, he had to come out for something. He came and he stood in front of my cell. You know what I mean? I guess sizing me up, and you know, I didn't know who he was. I had no idea who he was, but I definitely learned. You know what I mean? And you know, he set me straight or whatever, and then you know, obviously we became real good friends, or more like an uncle, more big brother type, father type figure, mentor. You know what I mean? Definitely showed me how to move in a room full of vultures. So salute to KO. And he been down since '74. You could Google the story. His name is John Smith. You know, caught a police body allegedly, maybe kind of sort of in Queens. He from Brooklyn though. Came back down on the pill, 86 or 87, represented himself. They still found him guilty, and he got life. You know what I mean? And he been down since. But he called me today real quick, and just let this rock out for a little minute.
From an incarcerated individual at New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision. This call is subject
this
to
how it's gonna sound when you on the other side.
Preventing suicide is important. If you have concerns during this call, please contact the individual's facility to communicate with them.
You know, from a lot of people.
Charges, press
unfortunately.
1 to refuse charge. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
So you on the gallery, champ, or you outside?
No, we in the day room.
You in the day room? Okay.
I'm in the day room. See, I'm in RMU. I'm in the RMU. That's the regional medical stop.
The hospital's place.
I'm in Wendy's. I'm in the RMU there. You know, it's the same thing, but it's worse. It's
Partner of the audio. He on the track from prison.
When I got to Auburn, when I got to 5 Points, because I was there. They used to move there every 6 months because of my status.
Right.
Got there when I came up. They put me in the box for 90 days. Of course, they just expunged it because they know I'm a double bump. So they expunged it. Boom, I was there, and now they moved me back. They moved me to
Now 5 Points. I've been in that jail as well. I've been in a lot of jails, unfortunately, on my bed. But 5 Points is like a super max. It's a place, you know, where the whole jail was double bunk. And some more backstory, so you can, you know, see what type of guy he is, and you know the principle that he stand upon. Because everybody, you know, say one thing, but then when it's time to push come to shove, they're gonna do the opposite. He, on the other hand, is definitely not of that cloth. Definitely cut from a different cloth, and there's not too many like him. But he don't double bunk. When you got to get searched and all that, and you got to lift your nuts, go on a visit, spread your ass cheeks and cough and all that, he don't do none of that. So I'll tell you another quick brief. That's why he said, you know, they had me in 5 Points, and I'm like, they had you in 5 Points. That's a double bunk jail. But he don't get double bunk. And people know Champ, aka KO. But, you know, like I said, I really didn't know him at first. So it took some time to get to know him. But I'll give you another quick little story, you know what I mean? Because hopefully he's going to be calling more now that my number's on his list, and we could get to chop it up. You know, I told him I got the show, etc. So he's like, yeah, I'll talk to the people. So I'd never been in a lockdown before. Lockdown is when, like, you know, the whole jail was locked down. They going through gallery to gallery, cell to cell to search, you know what I mean, for weapons, drugs, stuff like that. Too many cuttings, too much stuff popping off, so they just locked the jail down. So he had, up to this point, you know, I mean, it's probably about like 5 months in, I've been locking next to him. All these Superman stories, all these Batman stories, like, this happened here, you know, I beat this officer up here, I did this, I did 8 years in the box, straight. I did this, I did that. It's, you know, sound like some real Shaft. Like, you know what I mean? Who's the man with the man, I mean? Like, with the master plan. And then finally the institutional search come. And, you know, they go, you know, at this particular time, they start, yeah, I was in 12, and I was in 11. I was in 10, he was in 11, I was in 12, and he was in 11, whatever. So they started from the back. So his cell was first, you know what I mean? Before they got to my cell. And you hear the officer, you know, take your shirt off, do X, Y, Z. And when they got to the part where they was telling him to, you know, turning around and squatting all. He's like, I don't do that. And you can see, you know, I'm standing on my gate too. When I'm standing on the gate means I'm standing close to the gate for people that don't know this terminology. You know, in the bars, you can stick your hands through the bars so you can see. You know, I can see the officer. I can't see him, but I can see the officer talking to him. But I can hear. And when he like, I don't do that. I see the perplexity on all the confusion on the officer's face. Like, what? Like, I mean, turn around. Like, you know what I mean? Turn around. This is a search. And the KO was like, I told you I don't do that. And if you ask me that again, I'm going to smack flames out of you. Like, you know what I mean? I think he said, I'm going to smack you. He didn't say I'm going to smack flames out you. But he said, I'm going to do something to you. So the officer called some other officers over or whatever. So like I said, I had heard a lot of these stories from him, but people could be who they want a lot of times in prison and in a lot of places until somebody that really knows them come there. And then it's like, oh, nah, you wasn't really about that. You know what I mean? You telling a lie. I used to live on your block. So in prison, in a lot of places where people don't know you, that's why I say, you know, you could be anything, you know, that you want to be until somebody comes that really know you. Then your card is shown. You know what I mean? There's no more fronting. So I had heard all these stories from him, and I just go with it. I mean, like I said, I still was just getting to know him. And this is the time where push comes to shove now. He's telling the officer, I don't do that. And if you keep asking me that, I'm going to smack flames out you. I'm using my words. So the officer calls some other officers over, you know, and now they're looking in the cell. And then I guess one of the sergeants that been on the job for a while, when they see who the officers was talking to, they're like, oh, no, that's KO. He don't do all that. So I'm saying that to say this is the individual who I locked next to for a long time. Like, he don't, you know, bend over and cough, you know, do certain things that other prisoners do, even the tough ones, even the ones that's gang and high rank. To go on a visit, you got to go through the strip search. You got to do certain things. That didn't apply to him. And, you know, he obviously built a reputation for, you know, putting the beats on police. He obviously came in as a boxer, you know what I mean? And his legend grows. So that was the first time that I seen like, oh, shit, this nigga wasn't lying. Like, he dead ass is built like that. And so I only put that out. You know, I stopped the little record. I'm only going to play like 5 minutes. And we talked for a little while. He called me a few times today. But I had to give y'all the backstory that no matter who's standing there, still the same person. And those kind of people you rarely meet because, you know, people going, when you got a whole bunch of people behind you, you can have the, you know, you Superman. But when you by yourself and it's a whole bunch of people against you, are you still that same person? Are you still going to say what you were saying in private? Like on a DMX, you know, skit, and I use this for fun. I be playing, but I'm not. Like, nigga was talking shit at the other jail about what he was doing at the other jail. Let's take him on a straight rough ride. Then when you get to a jail where everybody is about it, you see people is not really like that. Now they humble. Now they don't want no problems. Now they not about that life. But when you had all your people with you, you was a super gang. You was super thug. Now that you don't got the numbers, now you want peace and you want to talk. He not like that. You know what I mean? And so, you know, you really see people
I was
like that.
not going about 2 months, 2 years, 2017 now. They sent me, I took ASAC, all this nonsense, all that other shit, maternal violence and all that. Right?
I took the violence too.
Nah, but
so you got violence on your record.
I stayed there chilling, bro. I didn't go to the yard. I stayed in my state, you know, trying to stay away from the nonsense. Because listen, bro, you got these stupid ass kids. They got to listen. Y'all ain't your era was geniuses, man. You know, I count on them a lot because
it's funny to hear him say that now.
And all that.
Because when I came and had a 90s number, and he used to call my era Heine in the 90s, and we used to argue a lot, you know what I mean? Obviously, he got a 74 number. He's been down since 74. So, you know, people that come in the 80s and the 90s, that's whatever year you get locked up, that's the number you get for those that don't know the system. So he used to call the people that had 90s numbers in my era Heine in the 90s on the fact that, you know, we would cut each other, we would do a lot of violence to each other, but you're not going against the sergeant. You're not cutting the captain. You're not walking up to the superintendent. You're letting these people punk you, yet you gangster. Yeah, with somebody like him, by himself, no gang, he wasn't Muslim, he was neutral. By himself, standing on his own. On the contrary, he didn't allow none of that. No disrespect from the prisoners, no disrespect from the staff. It didn't matter who it was. And even risking going to the box, like I say, did 8 years straight in the box, risk getting beat up, you know, risk a lot of things, you know, fasting diets where you're not eating, you on a, you know, a hunger strike and things of that nature, writing grievances. Like I said, people be so tough behind the wall, but you're not educated, so you won't even write a grievance. And then again, like he said, and I'm gonna let it play, you just finished cutting somebody. You gangster. You just finished wilding on somebody. Yet when you go on a draft and you got your Timberlands or you got your little possessions that your family send you, you let them dead you on that. You let them take your commissary from you. You let them say, you know what, you don't even go outside today. Go back in your fucking cell, nigga. Like, and you go back to your cell. But when I come out and look at you wrong, you're going to kill me. You're going to stab me. You're going to set my cell on fire. But to the other, you're not going to do nothing. He not like that. And so he used to despise that. And I used to hear it all the time, locking next to him. And, you know, he never went out. Not out of fear. But like I told you, I done been outside in the heat and in the snow and in the wintertime. And when something pop off in the yard, this is in Comstock I'm talking about, you going to lay down. You're going to lay down on a hot floor. Just imagine when it's hot outside, baking, like Kevin Bacon, some shit pop off all the way over there, like the yard is big. All the way on the other side of the yard, yet everybody in the yard got to lay down. And if you don't, like I said, you might get a rubber bullet in your head, or when they take you out the yard, you might get beat down. So you don't want that, so you lay down, myself included. I mean, I only had 10 to do, so I was like, I'm getting up out of here, one way or another. I don't got life, I ain't got 100 years. I'm going to do my time, stay under the radar. I'm not going to let nobody violate, but I'm going to get up out of here. But he used to say, you know, people like himself that got life, you letting these people dictate that go home every day. They go home every day to their wives, to their kids. Yeah, you live here. And I'll give you an example. What's the dude name? Jet Li. The movie The One. You know, he had a whole bunch of variants like the Marvel Universe, whole bunch of different hymns. And at the end, they called him, they put him in prison. And the famous line, or the line that sticks out to me, he like, I'm not in here with y'all. Y'all in here with me. And then, you know, the movie go off with him trying to get to the top of the stairs, with him fucking everybody up. You know what I mean? That was coming next to him. He was just doing them dirty to try to get to the top. Like, yo, y'all in here with me. I'm not in here with y'all. And so that's the thing. People be so gangster, but then you let, you know, somebody punk you. You know what I mean? You let them take your Timbs. You let them take your commissary. And you ain't going to do nothing. It's like 50 Cent said, you killed your cousin and you ain't going to do shit. And so, you know, I used to despise that. You know what I mean? And it made me despise it as well. And then I started to develop that mentality like, damn, you gonna do something to me, bro, but you ain't willing to do nothing to them. And so when I seen people like that, one, I stayed away from them. Two, I just looked at them with the side eye, like, nah, y'all niggas is really soft. Y'all just doing that because y'all got the numbers. If you scared of the police, then you definitely need to be scared of me, because I'm not even scared of the police. And I don't, you know what I mean? And that's the mentality.
These kids are stupid. They got no fucking sense. Excuse my language.
No, you tell them how it is.
Every week, they shut these dudes down. I was on 5 points. I'm like, oh,
they still shutting the jails now.
And you ain't doing nothing to the administration.
You talking about now, not when I was there with them. That's right.
You know, that's why I hate you. What you're doing is you're attacking your own people. You're nothing but cowards.
That's it.
I respect none of you. I respect you. You know, you're supposed to be fighting the forces, man, not the people. And I hate you. That's why. You know what it is? I say to you, I'll explain it to them this way. I say, just like a kid that comes home and he sees his mother and father at the house, everybody drinking. You know what? He don't change his school clothes. He go out, he open the refrigerator, eat what he wants. He do all that because why? He takes advantage of the situation. And that's how the system gets you cowards. They see you pussy, schizophrenia. No, they know you ain't gonna do nothing. They know your generation ain't nothing like mine.
Not at all.
So they do what they want to you. So now I gotta sit back and suffer. That's why I say I gotta get out of here, bro.
Now that's another thing he said during his comment. That's probably I just let play, because I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna put his picture up. Might put some of his backstory, you know, on another video. But he was speaking about how he was in the box with a Jamaican guy, 40 years old. He about that gang life, right? He in the box for doing something because some young dude, younger than him, got more rank than him, told him what he needed to do. Otherwise, you fool. So it was like, you ain't in the Black Panthers. You ain't in the Black Liberation Army. You ain't in the Nation of Islam, where at least whether you look, no matter how you look at those, organizations, or whether violence or not violence, the gist of it was positivity, at least in my book. It's not like, it's the destruction of a people, which, although some things may have been done, it's still under the gists of, pushing the people forward. You know that other shit is strictly just for the fuckery. So he's like, here it is, you got a grown man, 40 years old, Jamaican guy. And he's not the only one. Well, you got to take orders from somebody younger than you. And that's not to say that don't happen in the Army. Obviously, when you're dealing in an organization or you're dealing in the military and the Army, who I have family that, is in the military, etc., police forces, you have chain of command. So yes, you can have a younger boss or, a lieutenant that's younger than you. So I'm not saying merely on age. But what he's trying to say, or what he was saying to the dude, like, bro, you 40 years old. How you letting some young punk dude dictate to you that you got to go on a doja mission and risk your freedom getting home to your kids, your family? Otherwise, you fool. I mean, like, just think about that and say, damn, I'm in here, I'm in prison already. You in a messed up situation already. But you with an organization, or you with a group of people that whoever's in control, no matter if they thinking properly or they on K2, no matter their mindset, once they give the order, like, yo, when you go outside today, XYZ, woo, this dude just came from the other jail, yo, go get him up out of here. You looking around like, me? And that's you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's you. If you don't do it, now you face with the consequences of having to deal with the buffoonery and the fuckery, and maybe you get cut. Maybe they send you out to jail. So here it is, he in the box because he had to go do something he probably didn't really want to do over some young dude that got more rank over you, told you to go add more time onto your sentence. Is that not asinine? Like, Steve, that's asinine, 10, 11. You got to be bugged out. And that's why obviously locking next to him, Shane, who knows? I might have got involved in the culture if I didn't lock next to him. Like I said, that's the very first jail that I went to after Rikers, and I happened to go right next to him. So that was the most high. Like, now we're going to give you some sense. So when you move to your 10 years, out the prison, you ain't like these other dudes. And so I never really gravitated towards that because I'm like, I know I'm not the most smartest. I didn't go to college. I didn't finish high school. I had to get my GED in prison. But I said, I'd be damned. You know what I mean? I'm not Malcolm X and some leadership, but I'd be damned if I'm going to listen to these others, same age as me, same caliber. Even though I know I'm not the smartest, I'm definitely not taking orders from you, bro. I said, hear you on your gate. I hear you asking, how you spell such and such. Let me borrow your dictionary. You can't even put sentences together. And I'm not saying I'm the most articulate, most well-versed person on the planet, because I'm not. But I'd be damned if I'm following you and you telling me to go throw my life away and, go stab this nigga up. What? What? Like, what are we doing? And so that's pretty much just basically what he was saying. And, in the video I did yesterday, that's why I said it starts in the house. And I'm going to get out of here. I got to leave it with that. That's why it starts in the house. Number one, you got to be the master of yourself first. That's number one. You have to get some discipline, get some wind beneath yourself, and stand firm. If you don't know who you are, then you definitely could fall for anything. But even when you decide to click up and join a community, be a part of a community, try to, add on your talents to help move people forward, you still got to know when to say, oh, no, that's not cool with me. I just can't just take these orders just because you hold rank over me and just do anything. And to hear that grown men is doing this just for the namesake of, being down or being scared because they don't have the numbers. They don't got the numbers. And just think about that. Like, you cutting everybody in the world, yet you letting them dictate how many shirts you can have, and they taking your stuff that your family gave you. Oh, I done went and got packages where they're like, nah, this can't come in. You may get a 35-pound package in some spots, come back with 10 pounds. Your whole 25 is either you have to donate it, destroy it, or send it back at your own expense. Yet your family going to BJ's and they going to these places, sending you these packages and, trying to make sure you are. And I'll just end it with this for the brothers, because it's Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak to those that's fasting. inside, you know, during Ramadan, the fast, you get a little leeway. You don't eat the state food. You know, you eat some of the state food. You may get the rice, but in some prisons, the brothers have their own account. Meaning, like you say, we gonna put our money together through selling oils or whatever the brothers are selling, and that money goes in an account for the prison, but it's a separate account for the brothers. So when Ramadan come around, when festivals come around, we can order from somewhere else. Like, yo, let's get some whitey, let's get some food from the outside, and then we bring it into prison, and the brothers cook it up so you can have a decent meal at the fast. Talking to him today, he like, because it's Ramadan. Today is the 8th day. Some is the 9th day, depending on when you started. Saturday or Sunday last week. He like, they don't even allow that no more. He got to trade all state food. I said, what? He said, yeah, they don't even allow them to have their own accounts no more. So the thing is, I'll end with this too. The thing is, as people with backbones and people that stand upon something, as they start to die out, like KiLLing was 74 now. I met him when he was 50. When he was 50, 74 now. People that stand for something and not just going for whatever people was just saying, like Kwame Brown be saying, the go along, get along gang, they dying out. And then you have just the followers and the sheeps. They just do anything. Whatever you say, we're just going to do it. We're not going to think about it. And then you think about some prophecies where it says, as the end game come, Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. They say, as we get closer to the end game, the people of high intelligence or people of knowledge, the knowledgeable people, they get taken away, and then you left with just a lot of ignorance, a lot of blind leading the blind. When you look around now, if we not there yet, in my humble opinion, again, I'm not the smartest, not the brightest, not Einstein, you see a lot of that. You see a lot of the intelligence and the people that, critical thinkers or that question stuff and just not going along, they being taken away. And then the people that are left that's like that, they either get canceled or something happens and Me Too come out of nowhere and, oh shit, you got 100 people on your back trying to, say you did something with no proof. I was going to get into the Trey songs, but I'll save that for another time. The case in Vegas got thrown out, and I know he got a lot of accusations, and I'll leave that. But a lot of those people are being taken away. The elderly, your grandmothers and your grandfathers, and they dying out, and we being left with what we being left with. Now, I'm not saying, everybody need a hero, and I'm Malcolm X. Definitely not, even though I try to speak a word towards the right. But just think about it in that sense. People that just don't go along with anything, people that seem like they can think outside the box, critical think, not just, take everything for face value, they dying out. And the people that's here now, these are the leaders. These are the people that's dictating and put in position to govern you. So you have to think about that. What part you want to play in? I'm gonna play more of me and KO talking. It's not an interview. That's like my big uncle. It's like my pop figure. I'll play more of our conversation in another video. I just wanted to jump on real quick. Sunday night, Sunday fun day, last day of the season. NBA. I will be giving out, who I think gonna win the championship and all that. Telling you, even though I'm not betting now because it's the fast, I will be telling you who to put your money on because that's your money, son. And you know what it is. It's your boy, Popovich. That's me. For people that really know me on the bat line, is Lee. You was just tuned in. Popovich TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, so I do what I want on my platform. We authentic, not because we killed 100 people or we took over 100 blocks. Authentic, because that's just what it is. That feeling back up in here one more again. Yeah, kid.